You want to talk about it? I'd rather laugh about it. Let's get a little dark about it.
On the Traumedy Show.
Welcome to the Traumedy Show. I'm your co-host, Rachel Wilford.
And I'm your other co-host, Megan Wilford.
And we're going to start this episode by talking about how Megan's therapist advised her on Instagram notifications today.
Is that how we're starting?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, yeah, this is one of our new segments.
My therapist's advice on Instagram notifications?
Well, just shit my therapist says.
Oh, sure.
Trickle down therapy.
Trickle down therapy.
We had talked about having this kind of segment where we pay a lot for therapy, so we may as well give that advice to our listeners as well. Mm-hmm. And yes, today my therapist and I talked about Instagram.
We're going to introduce a few new segments today, actually,
Buckle
on this
up.
episode, but we'll start with trickle down therapy. Also, I'd like to chaotically state for the record that this is the first time that we are drinking on an episode, just the two of us.
Wow.
And Megan made us a disgusting cocktail.
It's not good.
Comprised of gin, cranberry sparkling water, lemon juice, and I added champagne to take the edge off.
It sounds like it would be good, but I think the gin was a little old, to be quite honest.
The gin was ginning.
It was not ginning in a good way. Mm-hmm. So this cocktail, it's cute, it's pink.
It is
pink. Just doesn't taste how it should.
No.
But it'll do the job because
that'll do, donkey.
It's been a long week, and when Rachel texted me about recording today, she was like, "Can we?
You want to have a drink on this episode?" And you were like, "I was thinking the exact same thing," and I'm like, "Thank God."
Gentle reader, we usually don't drink on the podcast, but today we are.
Anyway, okay. Trickle down therapy.
Today I had therapy. I always have therapy on Thursdays. And I was talking about how overwhelming this has been.
We're absolutely overwhelmed to bring you these podcast episodes. Delighted and overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm. Overwhelming in a good way. It's one of those feelings of, I had a really long talk with my sister-in-law about this week too, of there's so much going on in our lives. A lot of it's really good. Mm-hmm. It's chaotic. It's fun. It's all of these big new updates, but then it's also just a lot because you and I have full-time jobs, and this is almost a full-time job.
Correct.
Just especially like you're doing all of this editing, and I'm constantly thinking about the podcast now, and we didn't anticipate having this much success this quickly. Mm-hmm. So it's really exciting, but then it's also all consuming, and there's always more things we could be doing. You know, like, oh, there's merch, there's this idea, there's this content idea. I'm also a cosplayer, and I'm thinking about all of that. I have a Comic-Con coming up in 5 weeks. I'm working on all that content as well.
It was fun to combine those two projects at least with the Shrek episode and stuff.
Yes, because we're hot off the heels of Ren Fair and combining my love for Shrek lore and our podcast and cosplaying. You're a little cosplayer now.
I'm strictly a far cosplayer.
Far cosplayer.
For now. I might expand into other areas.
Other
Maybe
chaotic villainous short men.
Villainous short men. That's my specialty.
Anyway, I was talking about that and how addictive Instagram has been. I'm sure a lot of our listeners can relate to this, but especially like you and I right now, like I'm constantly switching back between my cosplay account, the Traumedy Show account, and my personal account, and our TikTok and my cosplay TikTok. So there's like 18 million Instagram accounts and
our podcast analytics. And we're trying to get YouTube
and notifications, and you and I are constantly like sharing stuff back and forth, and it's just a lot. Like when you wake up in the morning, there's just so many things to check on your phone. And when you go to bed at night, and like it's hard to even go, this is embarrassing. It's hard to even go an hour without even looking at Instagram. Because I also have my notifications on, and you get message requests from people. It's really exciting to see the message requests from complete strangers who've listened to the podcast and they have something to say.
100%.
And we've also had a reel go viral this week.
Yeah.
Which has been
1.5 million views at this moment in time.
And we've gotten a lot of new listeners for it, and we're so grateful.
Yeah. No, it's been insane.
It's just been a big week. All of that to just kind of like make my brain...
Don't even get us starting on Instagram flirting. If you factor in any sort of male attention on Instagram as well.
Goodness. I'm also dating someone right now, and that's wonderful and fun, but also new. And it's just like trying to handle all of these things gracefully while also work out and hang out with your friends and check up on your family and take care of yourself. And I don't really have
eat.
Eat. Even like yesterday, for the first time, I sat down and watched Bridgerton when like I don't really watch TV anymore. I just don't really have time to watch TV. But even yesterday, I was like, okay, I'm going to watch Bridgerton, but I'm going to edit this reel while I do it. And then I'm going to do, like, I have to multitask.
Always multitasking.
Yeah. It's kind of a lot.
I do the same thing. Like I'll be like, okay, this episode is ready. It's going to take some time to like download. So I'm going to have that be downloading in the background while I'm editing this other thing. And I'm responding to these texts and I'm watching a show.
And I'm doing a load of laundry.
And a load of laundry is going and the dishwasher.
Ordering my dishes.
And DoorDash is on the way.
Ordering my groceries. Wow. My brain.
We order our dishes too. That's how busy we are.
Yes. But in therapy, we talked more about burnout and what do you need to do in order to prioritize your mental health. And if that's like going on a walk and putting your phone away, God forbid. I was like,
and not listen to music.
What?
It's like when my phone got stolen and I couldn't contact the world for 3 days. Couldn't go on Instagram. Couldn't listen to music in my car while I drove.
Yeah.
Couldn't even make a grocery list on my phone. Like I do know the feeling. It's really weird when you are forced to.
Especially now more than ever. And we talked about that. We talked about like, what do you need to do to avoid burnout? And I think this is just good advice for anyone. And like, I was like, working out was really important to me. Trying to maintain, like, eat somewhat healthy so I don't feel gross. I need to be able to not be so glued to my phone. And I need to put it away in the other room while I'm working. And so we kind of like came up with these plans and she was like, I'm going to be crazy here for a second. How do you feel about this? It's like, what if you turned off your Instagram notifications? I was like,
and what a preposterous idea to just float by me casually.
And then we were joking like, oh, I'm paying all this money for therapy to like get advice on Instagram notifications. She's an incredible therapist.
Yes.
This is just what I was talking about today. And I was like, I've had my notifications on ever since I've been single, and Instagram flirting became a thing, which is something I think we might talk about today.
Yeah, why not?
If we have time.
Sure.
But like getting notified when someone sends you a message, when someone likes, if there's someone you're interested in. So I've had my Instagram notifications on for like a year, and I've had them on now. So whenever anyone comments on the Traumedy Show, I get notified, and I turned them all off today.
Insane. Insane.
Excuse me, I have to burp.
That checks out.
Oh, I always do this on the pod.
You're like expelling the addiction from your body.
I am. Yes, I'm just a new woman. Oh my God. But we did this exercise. She always asks me how things feel in my body. So when she said like, maybe turn off your Instagram notifications, she's like, how did that make you feel? Like, what are you feeling right now? And I was like, anxiety. Like, what if I miss something? And she's like, let's do an exercise. What's the worst thing that could happen if you don't get notified on Instagram? Like, what is the absolute worst thing if you don't check your phone every hour? And I was like, maybe someone comments something mean and I don't see it right away. And she's like, okay. Yeah.
That's a fair concern.
That's a fair, like, so that's the risk here, but let's talk about the potential reward. And I was like, I could have more like mental health balance and not be so glued to my phone and constantly, because when you go check the notification, then of course sometimes you end up scrolling or you get distracted and
or at this point, like there's so many that, like if you're not constantly checking, like
you miss it.
They get buried. They're gone.
And then she was like, what if you don't read every comment? And I was like, but then we kept doing this, like, what's the worst thing that could happen? And then what do you have to gain from it? And we kept doing this like kind of exercise. And I came to the conclusion of like, oh shit. Like, yeah.
This fun little dance that led to the conclusion that you must turn Instagram notifications off.
Yes. So right after therapy, I was like, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to try it for a week. And in my next therapy session, I'm going to see how it feels, how it's settling with me. But I turned off all my notifications.
Crazy.
I honestly feel like this really shows how bad the addiction is right now, but I already feel like I've checked Instagram less in the last 4 hours than I normally would.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is what I mean, we're addicted because it's also our podcast. Like it's our brand. We're trying to build something here. So we're not, it's a different kind of thing, but it still deserves some sort of balance.
Yeah. Well, it's also like literally chemicals in your brain that are firing every time you get a notification and everything. So it's like, yeah, you're not alone.
Didn't you say that your head was like really hurting by looking at your phone so much the other day?
Oh yeah. No, I've been having major neck pains. I had to get my neck massager out for the first time since I moved into this new apartment. I had to dig it out. Cause I feel like I'm, I don't know if there's this,
it's tech neck. It's a thing.
There's this show called Life with Beth. It's with Amy Schumer.
Oh, I've seen like first season of it. I think
I actually really liked it, but there's this episode where she goes to the doctor and she's like, I feel like I have this hump back here. And he's like, it's from like bad posture and like looking at your phone and stuff. And she's like, so I'm just going to like have this hump for the rest of my life. And that's what I keep thinking is like, I keep feeling back here. And I'm like, am I getting this fucking hump back here from looking at my phone so much? So I've literally been trying to like sit up straight, have my phone up higher if I'm looking at it, like all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
Well, my vain ass, I'm always thinking about the horizontal lines in my neck.
You're thinking about the horizontal lines. I'm thinking about my fucking hunchback. Oh my God.
Because
Tammy's going to make so much money off of us.
Mine are so much worse. Oh my God.
It's okay.
I'm burping and coughing.
But it's getting in my throat too. It must be the old gin.
There's something with this cocktail I made, you guys. It's
a cocktail concoction.
You know, we don't have to drink all of it. We have other drinks.
Yes, we do. We're not quitters.
But we know when to say no.
We sure do.
It's like getting in my throat.
I know, me too.
Shit.
We will persevere. Are you quitting? Are you quitting on me?
We will persevere. And I'm like,
I don't know if I will. I don't know if I'll do that.
I'll see you. Oh. Yeah, it's not tasting right, Thelonious.
Then just stop. Quit.
But I want a different drink then.
Then get a different drink. Go get the other champagne in the fridge.
Okay. Can we cut this whole little moment out?
Yeah.
Okay.
You just set a boundary with that bad drink.
I did. I'm back. I set a boundary with the bad drink and I got a glass of rosé because that gin was not sitting right with me.
And she's not a quitter. She's a pivoter.
I'm not a quitter. I know what's good for me and when I need to pivot, change direction.
You have high standards.
I do.
That's it. That's all it is. We don't want no scrubs anymore. And that also translates to our cocktails.
Exactly. But why are you still drinking the scrubby cocktail then?
Because my standards aren't that. I'm kidding. Still working on my standards. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. No, my standards are higher than the freaking wall of China at this point.
They really are.
Yep. Okay. Why did I say the wall of China and not Mount Everest? That would have been
because the wall of China is like it's like long, but I don't know how tall it is.
Well, I think it is up like high in the sky, isn't it? We probably sound so dumb.
I think it's up high in the sky.
We've been to Hong Kong, but we've never been to China. Oh, we should talk about the rest of our Asia trip. Actually, that's a great segue. That's why I said the Great Wall of China.
Yes.
To segue into our Asia trip recap.
Because 2 episodes ago is when we talked about Singapore. And then right after we went to Universal Studios Shrek World.
We should talk about Universal Studios Shrek World because we literally went and we didn't talk about it.
Oh, it was incredible.
It was, but it was we didn't have a whole lot of time. Like it was the sped up version for sure. But we had people taking pictures with us. We got to meet Shrek and Fiona. And then you made a reel that went totally viral on your cosplay account.
Not to brag, but I've made a few viral reels now.
And now you just have a few under your belt.
I've got a few. That one will not stop popping off. It's at like 4 million now.
Yeah. It's pretty insane.
But we went to Shrek World for like an hour.
Hour and a half, 2 hours. Yeah, something like that.
We went on the ride, the 3D World ride, and we got to see the Ghost of Farquaad.
Yeah, hell yeah, we did.
Yeah.
And that was the only Farquaad thing in that park, which I was so pissed about. I'm like, there's no Farquaad merch in here at all. like grave disservice
there was
to our Lord.
Huge lack of Farquad merch.
It was
everywhere.
100% lack. There was literally not a pencil, not a pin, not a poster. Nary a poster.
Well, I think you're doing a lot of good work though in bringing back Farquad and making it more relevant.
Thank you. I am doing the Lord's work.
You are. Lord Farquad.
I'm spreading awareness
for his ghost.
It's the Lord Farquad campaign. The Lord Farquad campaign.
I was bummed at Shrek World because I forgot my ears, of course, which you heard in the last episode.
Oh yeah.
And then all in the comments in the Bible reel, I don't look at those anymore because there's too many. But
you turned off your Instagram
and I turned off my notifications because I'm so amazing.
Mental health queen.
Everyone was like obsessed with you, which you were the star of that reel. I mean, it is what it is. What's new? But there were some people who were like, Shrek didn't try very hard. She didn't paint herself green. And I was like,
so right.
Oh, that lit a fire in my ass.
You're like, please go refer to my birthday party in which I painted my body green. Like, thank you so much.
Sir, I painted my body green to go to a Shrek rave last month. Don't even get me started.
Too.
But the humidity in Singapore was no joke.
No. Like I wasn't wearing my cloak or like any of my typical Lord Farquaad getup. I was in a red tank top and shorts and my gloves every so often.
Even your wig was a big commitment because that was hot.
Like my head. That was a sweaty head, baby.
Yeah, that was a sweaty head.
Like talk about a sweaty head.
And I just couldn't do the body paint and I missed the ears. So it was what it was, but the real
and you were wearing my clothes, my green clothes.
Yes,
actually,
that was entirely your outfit.
Yeah, it was.
Oh my gosh.
It's just your bra and underwear that were yours.
I feel like I need a win after that last episode.
That's true. We need to throw you a bone.
Yeah, so that it was a good experience. It just was very quick because we were like, oh, we got to go get on a plane.
Yeah,
we got to go to
another
Thailand.
Country. Yeah,
so we rushed back, took an Uber or taxi home, got on the plane, went to Thailand, and then we got there pretty late at night.
I edited our episode on the airplane to Thailand that we had just recorded that,
and I edited the
earlier.
reel.
Yeah, no,
we
were when we tell you like we are working so hard.
Yes.
Like there's not a dull moment.
Like we have a lot of fun, but we're constantly like, okay, now we need to do this. Now we need to edit.
We don't rest even on an hour-long plane flight.
No, we don't.
Just saying.
But Thailand was amazing. We went to Phuket.
Yes.
Took me a second to remember.
We stayed in Patong, which is infamous for Bangla Road, which is, how do we describe it? Every sin in the world that you can imagine. It's all on Bangla Road. Like it is a land of sin. It is a lawless land. It is
down on Bangla Road.
It is the most insane thing I've ever like been a part of.
It was really cool.
It was.
I mean, it's like Las Vegas, but Bangla Road was more condensed. There's no cars either. No. So it's not like Vegas where it's a big strip or it's one giant road.
Yeah.
The crowds were insane.
It's just club on top of club on top of club on top of like seedy, like back alley area.
The back alley areas where it gets a little sketchy. And it was a
half naked women dancing on tables that look like they're not having
But the women did not look like they were having a good time. Like it was definitely, I don't know, a humbling experience or a harrowing, or just for us to be like, oh, we knew this was a party scene.
Yeah.
We didn't realize this was like a sex tourism area. And just to see.
We didn't really know what we were getting ourselves into.
No.
And we're walking on this road and every 5 steps, someone's in your face trying to get you to go to the ping pong show. Most of the time, I feel like they were trying to get me for some reason. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
They were constant, like, they were
you
like
really
touching
looked
me and
like
stuff.
the type of person who'd go to the ping.
I mean, like, on my way to the
you
ping
guys
pong
can
show,
Google ping pong show Bangla Road. We won't get into it.
Just let your imagination run wild there. But
we did not attend. We actually didn't end up on Bangla Road that long because I got super sick. Remember?
We had been drinking all day. I think that was the day that we were hanging with Mem on the beach.
Yeah, there was.
Okay. So we talked about how in Italy our rule was 2 gelatos a day mandatory. In Thailand, our rule was 2 massages a day mandatory. Because
if not 3.
If not 3. One or 2 days we got 3. I think we ended up with 9 massages.
Yeah.
in
we have to
4
talk
days.
about the suspicious massage.
Okay, yeah. So Megan and I are getting like the massages ranged from $7 to $9, like depending on if we got a foot massage or like a full body.
Yeah.
And so like the amount that we paid for 9 massages didn't even equal 1 here.
No.
It was insane. So we would like go to the beach and we met this they were like basically kind of wait staff, I guess, on the beach. And so we met this one lady, her name was Mem, and she just became our homie, and she was just getting everything for us. We were tipping her so well. She became our friend.
She saw us. She's like, okay, these white girls, they're kind of tipsy.
They're fun.
They're going to tip me. And so like you and I also had this mentality of like everywhere we went, we were tipping well. And especially the women, we were like,
oh yeah,
where we could, we're like, okay, yeah, Mem. I remember they didn't have any food at the beach. And she's like, I'll go get you pad thai.
She literally did.
Yes.
No,
like,
she was amazing. And she booked us our boat tour that we did on the last day too.
She also, because she was talking, I think she had children. And I think at one point we asked her like, have you been on this boat ride? I don't think she had.
I don't think she had either, but she was like,
she also had mentioned she just didn't take days off.
No.
Like she's an older woman, probably in her 60s, and just literally works 12 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those travel experiences where it's so wonderful and like we tip where we can and we're contributing to the economy, but it's just like, oh man, this is kind of, we're on vacation.
Totally. It was an experience for sure. But yeah.
We booked the trip with her because we could have booked it online, which would have been way safer.
Yes.
But we're like, you know what? We're going to take a chance on Mem.
We're going to risk it for Mem so that she gets the commish.
So
we just hope that we don't get stiffed because like we didn't have any sort of like receipt or anything. She literally just like wrote it down on a notepad.
Like show up here at this time for your boat tour. And we were pretty tipsy at that point.
We just handed her a bunch of baht
and we just
like
handed her a couple $100.
Yeah.
And I looked online. That was what it cost. I don't think she ripped us off.
No.
But she did get the commission and the boat ride ended up awesome.
Yeah.
We got to see monkeys.
Yeah, we did like the typical, like it's called the Pee Islands.
Not the Fifi Islands.
No, it's Pee.
It's the Pee Island.
Snorkeled.
Rachel peed on the forbidden beach.
Oh yeah. There's this picture of me. So there's, maybe you've heard of Maya Bay. It's this part of the Pee Islands, but it's this picturesque spot. I think they did like a James Bond movie there or something, they said.
It's like one of the prettiest beaches in the world.
Yes. And you're not supposed to go in the water there. But I had to go so bad. And it's so hot there. And the walk was so far to get there. Yeah. And so and Megan and I are taking pictures like on the shore. And I just literally sit down on the shore. And there's this picture.
Because you're not supposed to go in far at all.
No, so you can't pee. But I had to pee so bad. There's no bathroom. So I literally just sit down in the sand there. And there's this picture of me that you would otherwise think is this like
little
vibey
sexy
Instagram pic. Like
you got your ass out.
No, I was taking a pic. And I sent it to my dad because my dad and I are literally the same person. I was like, Dad, look at me. Hee hee. I'm going pee on Pee Island.
We should post that picture out of context.
I'm gonna.
And then the ones who know are gonna know that you were peeing.
The real ones will know that it's actual footage of me peeing on Pee Island.
I did the same thing after that. I think you started it, but then I
started the pee on Pee Island trend. Mm-hmm. And you know what? If you ever go to Pee Island, make sure you go pee.
Tag us
on that island where I went pee.
Yeah.
This is the stupidest thing I've ever said. I've said a lot of stupid shit on this podcast, but wow, the amount of times that pee just came out of my mouth. Let's just take a moment of silence.
I don't know if it's as bad as the hemorrhoid episode yet. So,
well, that one, like, I don't know.
You didn't even really get hemorrhoids there. Not bad.
Not as not nearly
near
as bad.
Like Como
not nearly
situation.
as bad. But there was a bidet in Singapore.
There was.
So I think that helped.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, I can talk about my
You want to? Let's put a pin in that. Let's like finish the Pee Island tour and then we'll go to your BV.
Okay.
So we do the Pee Islands and you went snorkeling. You got stung by a jellyfish.
Oh yeah, I got stung by a jellyfish.
Mm-hmm. They were massive.
I feel kind of badass about that now.
I mean, you were very tough about it. There was this one guy that was being a little
tough
bitch.
Girl. Yeah, I was a big girl and I was the last one snorkeling because I love snorkeling and there was jellyfish everywhere. But I was like, listen, I'm not going to go back on the boat. Like, I'm here. And there was this guy who got stung too. And he was like, oh my God, look. And his girlfriend was there and he kept whining about it. Yeah, everyone on the boat was like, wow, really? You got stung? I had the same exact thing. And I was like, yeah, just rub some salt on it.
You made Fergie proud that day. You were like, big girls don't cry, bitch.
Cry. I mean, it hurt, but not nearly what. I mean, this just also goes to like women are just have a higher pain tolerance and we're not little bitches.
No.
Yeah. We had sea lice biting us a lot.
Yeah, that was wild. I was talking to somebody else about that the other day.
Apparently there's like a season in Thailand where there's sea lice, which are these like little microscopic bugs that bite you.
That live in the water. And it feels like you're getting stung by a bunch of tiny microscopic jellyfish, which we thought that we were until the guy was like, no, they're called sea lice.
It just kind of made you itchy. I mean, still very cool. Worth it to go in the water.
Very cool.
The sea lice.
Highly recommend the sea lice.
Highly recommend the sea lice. 10
out of 10.
Still a worth it experience despite the sea lice. And we got to see monkeys.
Yeah, okay. So
Rachel was terrified.
So because I already had a harrowing experience with the cats, as you know. And we go there. He's like, we're going to go to Monkey Beach and we're going to be here for 10 minutes. Don't bring food off the boat. Don't feed these monkeys because they will bite you. Like, they are vicious. They will bite the shit out of you. So what do these people do? They bring a bunch of fucking food off the boat and they start feeding these monkeys. These monkeys were jumping on these women on their heads and shit. And I was watching like, this chick's going to get rabies and she's going to have to go to a Thai hospital.
Yeah. And like monkeys can like rip your nose off.
Yeah,
like, they're tough.
Yes. Yeah. And it was a swarm of monkeys on this beach. And like, I love wildlife and it was seriously so cool to be there, but I was definitely scared.
It was giving like Jane and Tarzan with the monkey scene.
Well, I was just scared, like, are they going to think that I have food and they're going to come for me? Like, I don't want any part of this. Like, I do not consent. I just want to stand here and watch. Like,
I just want to make some content. I want to film these monkeys.
I just want to watch you from afar. If you want to rip somebody else's face off, more power to you. But I don't have food for you and I am not tasty. There's not a lot of meat on these bones. So try your luck elsewhere. Anyway, yeah. So then one was like crawling on your foot.
Yeah, I did have a little monkey on my foot.
They touched you. They didn't touch me.
They got a cute little video of it.
Yeah, no, it was. I'm joking about it, but it was awesome. It was really cool. I've never been on a beach with a bunch of freaking monkeys like that. So yeah, that was sick.
Also, just still so cheap compared to what that tour would have cost here.
Cheap.
Like
so cheap.
Thailand
was island hopped in Thailand.
Oh my God,
for dirt cheap.
It was expensive flight and it was a long flight getting over there. But once we were in Thailand, like the food, the massages, like you could just get a freaking cocktail for $3.
We balled out like kings and queens.
Oh yeah, like of course I'll get another cocktail. Why wouldn't I? Like the club to massage pipeline.
Oh my God,
it was so incredible.
We would go out and like just have the time of our lives and get drunk, and then we'd be like, you want to go get drunk massages?
Yes.
And just go pass out in a chair and get our feet rubbed.
And not every single one was great. Some of the massages were like not as incredible as others. They were all pretty good. Some of them were amazing. But then if you had one that was like, it could have been better. Like there was one foot massage we got late at night, like 1 a.m. or something. And they were like these 16-year-old girls.
Okay, that was the worst one. But they were so sweet.
They were so sweet and so young.
So
and
they were the only place that was open that late for some reason. It was weird. I don't know why, but
I mean, we were there like Friday at 1 a.m. like getting our foot.
Yeah, I know, but like that place like never slept. Like Bangla Road area, like they go hard till the sun comes up. So it was strange that like we couldn't find another place that was open except in this back alley with these two like underage girls, basically.
True.
But regardless, like they were super cute,
like
super sweet.
$8, so it's also
like we weren't complaining at all. It just was like of the 9 massages that we got in 4 days,
we could certainly rank the quality and also the weirdness because there was one massage that really scared Rachel.
Okay. Okay. So we go to dinner at the Tiger Bar. Let's set the scene first from the beginning of the night.
It's like the most mediocre food I've ever had.
Oh, 100%. But we drove by it as we arrived in Thailand, and we're like, that is a restaurant full of fake tigers called the Tiger Bar. I've never seen such an establishment.
We have to go.
We must go to the Tiger Bar, Thelonious. And so, Thelonious, take me to the Tiger Bar.
We were Theloniusing at that point.
We were
full
the
Thelonious.
Laura was born. Yeah.
And it was like Rainforest Cafe, but only tigers. And there was just all of these giant tigers on the ceiling with these dead animals in their mouths. Like sharks, antelope.
It made no sense.
Whales.
A giant
zebras.
Rabbit.
I mean, it was just...
It was so random.
And we kept trying to ask all these tuk-tuk drivers, like, the Tiger Bar. And no one really knew what it was.
None of them know?
Because it's a mediocre restaurant that nobody goes to.
But it's bursting with tigers. Like, there's no other place bursting with tigers in Potomac.
It's positively bursting with tigers.
There's no other Tiger Bar. It was so tough to find, but literally it's just like, take me to the tigers. There's literally
like some of the worst food I've ever had.
It was so bad. It was so bad. But Megan and I are just sitting there like just basking in all these tigers.
There's a really awkward photo of us posing with these
yeah. With like a tray of silverware behind. Like, it was just so chaotic. So then
that's when you were filming a story of me.
Yeah.
And I was like, we do specialize in tigers here at the Tiger Bar.
It's so funny.
It was good
we gotta
content.
post some out of context content.
But
yeah, so then after that we walk to a mojito bar across the street, and
you cried.
I start getting emotional about my ex, not the wolf, the one that we haven't debuted yet, that I keep teasing that we're gonna debut, which we will.
We will.
Oh, we will.
Don't you worry.
Next episode, actually, we're gonna do it.
During all of these fun, chaotic times, we tend to have our emotional moments.
Of course. Because like in the midst of the euphoria, there's also
all this shit that's happening constantly. Yes.
Yeah. So
we have a little cry.
I have a little cry. And then we're like, let's go get massages, as we do. It's like midnight, whatever. So we go to this place. We're like definitely tipsy for sure. We walk in and they're like, they're very full, and they're like, oh, come to our sister massage place across the street. So we walk over there, and then we're waiting there, and they're like, oh, we're full here too. So that like we kept getting
have to put our shoes back and forth on and off.
So right, because every time you walk in these places, you have to take your shoes off and they wash your feet.
Yeah.
And so we kept taking our shoes on and off. Like we had strappy sandals.
Yeah.
We're in skirts and
there's
shit.
just this little like Thai woman leading us across this busy road in her like massage outfit, lead back and forth. And they finally...
Will no one rub these women down? Is there anyone in Thailand to rub us down?
And they had us pay really early on. So we've already paid at this point.
Yes. And we're like, we're getting paid to exercise. Or we're paying people to make us exercise at this point.
And then they take us back across the street and they take us to this back room. And in retrospect, maybe that area was like reserved for special things.
So they pull this curtain back and they lead us into this dark, it's like a hallway with like mattresses on the floor, essentially is what it is.
Which is traditional for some Thai massages.
Sure. Right.
It is.
Right.
Yes.
And we are in Thailand. So then they lay Megan and I down in this dark hallway and close the curtains, and
there's club music.
We very quickly noticed that it's not this tranquil, serene vibe that we have been accustomed to thus far in our other 8 massages. It is, the bass is bumping, and we're like, why? At least I was. You kind of just enjoyed, and I was laying there like, why is this bass bumping? Like the kind of the hairs on the back of my neck were standing up a little bit.
You were suspicious.
I was
for some reason. I just was going along with it, and I was like, oh, what a different experience. But I was like,
the culture. And I was like, no, something's happening. And so we're getting...
I had a great massage.
I'm so glad, because I was on edge the whole time, because about halfway through, I started hearing some my suspicions were suspicioning because I started hearing some noises noising. I was hearing some endings that were happy. I will say.
Yes.
That is what I was hearing. And Megan was just basically passed out.
I guess like if any of our listeners are not aware, there's certainly like happy ending massages all over the world.
Yeah.
Especially in Thailand. And it's not every spa. It's not every place, but some of them do. Mm-hmm. And there are plenty of spas in Thailand that say like no sex work.
Yes.
Like
most of them had signs out front, like in big bold letters.
Yes.
Like no sex.
Yeah. But some of them do. And I think we found one.
Yeah, I think we found one.
I was oblivious.
I'm confident we found one.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And that's okay.
You were worried.
That's okay.
You'd have to decline.
At the end of the day, it was a $9 massage that I will remember for the rest of my life. It's fine.
You were telling me you were worried you'd have to decline a happy ending.
You are correct.
Like,
yes.
what was she going to...
I was preparing to give a no. Like, ma'am, my cousin is right next to me. That's my cousin, ma'am. I'm thank you so much. I really appreciate the offer, but I must kindly decline.
Decline because you're
Yes.
No. There is one thin curtain separating me and my cousin.
For that reason, I'm out. Shark Tank it.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So,
but she never asked. She never asked.
She didn't ask. She was a perfect gentlewoman.
They knew that we didn't want happy endings.
Correct.
Maybe it's rude. She didn't ask.
I was giving out a vibe with my very stiff body and my very stiff hairs on the back of my neck. Just very unrelaxed. The bass was bumping.
Oh my gosh. So there's that.
So there's the story of my almost happy ending in Thailand. Mm-hmm. In your very enjoyable massage.
Yeah, it was great.
And then I had to break it to Megan. Like she didn't even hear it. And I was like, dude, you didn't hear the cries of ecstasy. The gentle cries.
I just couldn't be bothered. I couldn't be bothered.
You were in your own little world. I love that for you.
I had a great time. There was lots of cats in Thailand too, and they all loved me.
We had a hotel cat.
We had hotel cats.
Yeah, they loved you.
I think
we tried to buy a scooter.
Oh yeah.
We had this just gorgeous idea, as you like to say.
That's our new thing.
Yeah.
A gorgeous idea
that like we were going to get a scooter, and of course I was going to drive it because we've established Megan doesn't do the driving. Mm-hmm. And so we were researching it, and it was like, you shouldn't do this if you don't have an international license, but like you can get pulled over and you can get fined. And we're like, what's the fine? And it said like $35 or something. And we're like, we're going to risk it for the biscuit. So then we just start walking around and we're trying to rent scooters.
Will anybody give us a scooter?
Will anybody rub these women down and give them a fucking scooter?
It was the first time there was a law in this lawless land.
Oh no. No, you're so right. This is the first time we like actually got denied in Thailand to do literally anything.
Yeah.
We could not rent a scooter for the life of us.
No.
And then after the third attempt, you and I just kind of looked at each other and we're like, we're not supposed to rent a scooter. Something bad's going to happen if we get on the back
it was
of one
like
of these
an
scooters.
eerie feeling.
Yeah.
Like we were going to die in those scooters.
Yeah.
We were diverted by divine divertness.
The Lord intervened and said, no scooters for you, dumb bitches. So instead we got in a tuk-tuk and we took it to Kata Beach.
Good one.
And that's where the mini hurricane happened. So we get these chairs and we're vibing on this really gorgeous beach. Mm-hmm. And we're all set up. I'm relaxed and Megan's like, I'm gonna go over and get us drinks at this little bar. Mm-hmm. And she promptly leaves. And then I look over to the left and there's this little mini tornado swirling. Yeah. And this umbrella has gone rogue and it's like,
people are in the beach
down
are like
beach.
screaming because it really did just take all of someone's shit and just spattered it across the entire beach. And I come running after you.
Megan all of a sudden just comes charging back to me, like screaming my name. She's like, I had to come save you. You didn't know about the hurricane. I'm like, I'm literally just sitting here safe and sound watching it across the beach. Like, it's okay.
I don't know why I just had this, like,
you had to rescue me.
Buying these
Shrek took over your body, and he's like, I must rescue my damsel in distress.
I was buying us little like mojitos and pineapples or whatever, and I left everything.
That took like an hour to get to us.
They did. And was like, my cousin doesn't know. She doesn't know about the hurricane.
I must save her.
It was a very harmless hurricane.
It was so fine.
Ooh, and then we went to this giant...
A blanket and a pillow.
It was like a bar, restaurant, coffee house on this cliffside in Thailand.
It was a bunch of tree houses, basically. Mm-hmm. It was so cool. It was so
One of the prettiest things I've ever seen.
I don't think you know, but I cried. When I had a moment alone, I took a picture of myself crying because I was like, this is so cool. And I'm so happy.
You cried?
Bitch, I cried. What? I know. I didn't make Fergie proud. It's okay. Yeah, I cried in that moment. It was so pretty there. It was cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is that a wrap on Thailand?
That's a wrap on Thailand. And then as we were kind of wrapping up our trip in general, we didn't realize we had such a long layover in Hong Kong.
We're like, how are we getting home?
How are we getting home? Yeah.
And you're like, I think it's Hong Kong. And I'm like,
gentle reader, we had a 7-hour layover.
Correct. So I'm like, are we going to full send and go explore Hong Kong for a few hours? And you looked at me and you were like, we're going to full send and go explore Hong Kong for a few hours. So we land in Hong Kong. We go walk through the airport. We figure out a luggage storage thing. We store our backpacks. We hop on a train right in the airport and take it to downtown Hong Kong. And it was our 7 hours in Hong Kong film. Like, it was like, this might have been like the most epic adventure of the whole trip, was our 7 hours in Hong Kong, if I do say so myself, because it was so really spontaneous.
Cool. Yes.
And like,
because the day before we didn't know it was happening.
No, we're just like, oh my God, we're all of a sudden going to another country. And then for a while we were like, oh, Hong Kong's in China. And then we're like, wait, no, Hong Kong's kind of its own thing. It's like a Republic of China.
Yes. Like they had their own laws that are separate from China.
Yeah, and they have their own currency too.
It was like the Hong Kong dollar.
Yeah.
It was still cheaper than like here for sure. Yeah. But it was more similar to maybe like Singapore dollar.
It was like fast pass culture. We did a Disneyland fast pass of Hong Kong.
It was so fun.
So we arrive and then we immediately walk over to this market. It's like this food hall that was like 3 stories, and we're checking it out. We went to a couple places, and then we sat down and we kind of like game planned, and we started looking at all these bars in our area, and we're like, we're just gonna bar hop around Hong Kong. And so we kind of set up an itinerary. We found a couple
articles of like coolest cocktail bars in downtown Hong Kong.
And some of them were like, this is like the #1 in the world or whatever. Yeah. Like,
apparently there's a great cocktail bar scene there. Yes. We didn't know that.
Yeah, no. Oh my gosh, these are some of the coolest bars I've ever been to in my whole life. Dude. That we went to.
And in that like 30 minutes while we were just sitting there in that bar, we mapped out the route.
Yes.
We were like, all right, first we're going to go get dumplings and noodles.
Yep.
But then we mapped out, like, we're going to try to go get a cocktail at every single one of these places.
And we had to maximize our 7 hours in Hong Kong.
Exactly.
And so we went to this, you were like, you really wanted dumplings. You really wanted dumplings.
And, they didn't have any vegetarian ones.
Yeah. So sadly, Megan didn't get dumplings, but she got to live vicariously through me.
Not a lot of vegetarian food.
No.
In Asia.
Well, literally, the place that we went was like locals only, like hole in the wall mom and pop shop. Like they didn't speak English.
There was no English, and they were like, what are these white people doing here?
Yeah. And they like, it was an experience. It was so good.
It was so very good.
We got a lot of food, and then we're sitting there and we're trying to pay, and they tell us that they don't take card. They don't take card. And so we're like, do we just work here now? Or do we live here? We have to work off this
and we don't
cost.
have time to fuck around.
We don't have to. We have 7 hours in Hong Kong.
At this point, we only had like ticking. 5.5 hours in Hong Kong.
The clock was ticking.
And so I leave you.
Megan leaves me. as I am hostage to this dumpling shop in Hong Kong. And she goes and runs around downtown Hong Kong trying to find an ATM.
I could not find an ATM anywhere. Like I'm looking on Google Maps, Apple Maps. It's downtown. You'd think I'd find one. I ended up walking like a good 15, 18 minutes away to find a fucking ATM. And I'm texting you and I'm like, oh my God, I can't find it. Rachel, are you?
And I'm just sitting there like, and they're just side-eyeing me like, is she going to bolt? Or like, is she going to come back with money? And then meanwhile, they had this thing called Octopus where we were like, it was this like card that you sign up for. It's like very just for them. But like, I tried to ask if they took the app and she looked at me like I was so stupid because you have to have the physical card. And I'm like, well, I don't fucking have that.
It just was not going to work.
So that's when the song was born, I believe. The 7 hours in Hong Kong got held hostage for very long.
Did you come up with the song in the shop?
Because our Hong Kong payment was wrong. Because we're a couple of ding dongs.
7 hours in Hong Kong.
Yeah. So we just started singing that. Then we were just walking around Hong Kong drunk singing that song everywhere.
At this point, I think we've had like a cocktail after, but then
escalated.
We immediately go to the...
long story short, Megan gets...
I get the cash.
She gets cash and I am saved.
Yes.
And then we're like, we got to go to the next place.
We were running out of time.
So then we went to the Dragonfly, right?
Yes.
The blue one.
Oh, it was so cool.
All the blue lanterns.
It was so cool.
Everywhere. Oh, yes. It was gorgeous.
One of the prettiest bars I've ever seen.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Bartenders hated us.
Yeah. The service was not the best. But
probably because it's a super touristy place. And
it's fine. Like the ambiance was gorgeous. The drinks were good. Like we were there for 30, 45 minutes. And then we're like,
if that. I'd say 20 to 30 minutes.
We saw it. We drank the drink. We took the pictures and we bounced. Because we're like
we have to go to the next one.
We had to. Was it the ferry bar?
Yes. And then we go to it's called the Iron Ferry.
So now this is our 4th place that we've been to in Hong Kong now.
Yes.
The market, which we sat and had a drink and appetizers. Then we went to the dumpling shop. Then we went to Dragonfly. Then we went to the Iron Ferry.
Yes.
Okay, explain the Iron Ferry.
Oh my gosh. It was such
like a speakeasy vibe.
A speakeasy vibe, very dark. And there are these literal like Iron Ferry figurines all over the bar.
Yeah.
And it kind of gave this like Dungeons and Dragons fantasy, Game of Thrones.
There were like literal dungeon pods that you could sit in.
And there was like swords and armor and little tiny potion bottles.
With pixie dust.
Yeah.
Thousands of them hanging from the ceiling.
And butterflies everywhere. Like it was this kind of, I don't know, these fairies are armored knights and all of their shit is everywhere. Like it just was the coolest
so cool. It was
vibe.
Such a cool concept for a bar.
And
Very
we
cool vibe.
got sat down right away. I don't remember, did any of these places we have 2 drinks?
I don't think so. I got this like potion elixir drink. Yeah. Remember that? It was like all smoky and cool.
You got a very cool drink. I don't remember what I got. I mean, they were all delicious because they're some of the best cocktail bars ever.
Yeah.
And
100%.
Made some content, had a great time. We were there for like 30 minutes. Then we had to go. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know how we were as drunk as we were if we only had...
No. We went to one more.
Because then
we went through the mall and we walked to the one where we made friends with the bartender in the fancy hotel. What was the fancy hotel? Was it a Hilton or a Marriott?
Was it Four Seasons?
Four Seasons.
Yeah.
So
we were pretty tipsy somehow at this point.
We have to talk about the mall. So when we hopped on the train from the airport, it dropped us off inside this mall. Mm-hmm. And so then we were like, oh, cool, to go to this bar that's ranked #1 in the world it was like a Forbes list or something. Like it was a very like prestigious list of bars. It was like this bar in Hong Kong, we rank it #1 in the world. It's within the Four Seasons. And we're like, holy shit, we got to go to the #1 bar in the world, right?
Yeah.
So to get to this bar in the Four Seasons, we had to go back through this mall. And
kind of like the Singapore malls.
Yeah. Except we're drunk.
We're pretty dang drunk at this point.
We're walking through this mall that's like abandoned because it's now late at night. We're just like walking through this mall being degenerates. That's the picture of us that I took with the mirror on the ceiling where we're just like open-mouthed, big old grins, like looking like a couple of goobs.
We were just like Could anyone point us to the Four Seasons? Please. We have a very important appointment.
We only have a couple hours. We must hurry. Post haste.
We had a good walk after that too. So time is running out.
Time was running out. But we had to hit this bar.
We had to.
So we go to this Four Seasons bar and we are very out of place. Ooh. Like I'm in my Converse and like my airplane.
I'm in shorts and a tank top.
We were doing our best.
That was the Ooh, I even just shivered even thinking about it.
I did the same thing. The guy that made us the cocktails was awesome. The bartender.
He was so great.
And he recommended these drinks to us. We each got a different one, but it was straight alcohol.
Oh, it was so gross.
There was nothing else in it.
I mean, it probably was like good, high quality alcohol if you're into that, but I am not.
No.
It was so strong.
It was foul.
And that Thelonious is when we
took a turn. We took a turn. Some might say for the best and some might say for the worst.
That was
that was the moment.
That was
when
the moment.
I was dropping. What did we get? Panna cotta? No. What was the little dessert we got? The Italian dessert.
Girl, I
didn't
know.
like, but you did, and you wanted it.
I don't know.
Flaky. It was flaky and weird, and I was just dropping it all over the floor.
We were toasted.
We were absolutely toasted.
And then at some point, I think I checked the time, and it was like, ooh, our flight leaves in an hour and a half or something like that. Like it was like the 7 hours of Hong Kong is now 1 hour in Hong Kong and we have to go.
Time has run out officially.
And the subway is in this mall that is connected to the Four Seasons. And this is when we have this beautiful moment where Rachel is so drunk at this point and she's kind of just running through the mall.
Because we're lost as shit trying to find the train in this mall. I'm running up ahead of you and you just go, Thelonious, what are you doing? And I turn around and I just go, Thelonious. And you're like, what are you looking for? And I turn around and go, my brain. You have to post
We have it just like memorized in our head.
Because we watched it so many times.
We ended up asking like a security guard where to go. Like
I don't even remember that.
You don't?
No.
No, this was
7 hours in Hong Kong was a time.
It was that final cocktail that honestly counted for 2 or 3.
No, yeah.
And
really
that was the most suspicious moment because we had a flight we had to catch back home to America.
Like,
and we're just like
our suitcase is going to be on that airplane. Like our bags are
yes.
We had to go.
We found it though.
We couldn't possibly stay in Hong Kong.
But also I was trying to navigate and as we're running, speaking of being tied to our phones, you were like, Thelonious, I have to update my story. And I was like, dude, we have to like get on this plane.
But I was like, no, Thelonious, I have a gorgeous idea. We're going to post on my story 7 hours in Hong Kong, a short film by Rachel and Megan Wilford.
You were so like tied to this idea of your short film.
I had to. And like when the plane took off, I wasn't going to have service anymore.
Right.
So like it needed to be done. And the people saw that we were in Hong Kong. And then it was just like 6 or 7 hours had passed. And they're like, we don't know what they're doing. We know that
this was life or death.
Talk about glued to your phones. We know people are glued to their phones waiting for updates on what the fuck we're doing.
I mean, if we didn't post anything.
I'm totally kidding. That's a joke, by the way.
kidding. But if we didn't post anything, people would be like,
no, like that was my art. That was my art.
That was your art.
That was my creative.
And you were just kind of trailing behind me where I'm like, this way, Thelonious.
Yeah, pretty much. You were leading us to the promised land. You were being Nav Queen. You were taking over as Nav Queen. And
okay,
I was just
here's a moment where I wasn't a piece of shit.
Correct.
I got us to the airport.
And I'm drunk posting on my story our 7 hours in Hong Kong short film.
We get to the gate, gentle reader.
Flawlessly, I will say.
Yes.
Yes.
They have been boarding for a bit.
We are quite literally the last ones on the plane. In the nick of time. We used every minute, every second of that 7 hours in Hong Kong. We're just really jinxing. You're anticipating what I'm about to say. And you're just really flowing with me.
I'm locked in.
You're locked in, baby. So then we got on the flight, and by then we'd already been traveling for it had been like a full day.
Yeah, it was confusing how long it had been.
Because then we still had another 12 or 13 hour flight. Mm-hmm. And we were fucking
hungover.
We were cacked. And so then like I come out of my drunk on this plane and I'm like, this isn't good. And now I'm trapped in this seat.
Yeah,
like,
that flight home was not delectable.
We waited like an hour for our luggage.
Oh my God.
When we got there. And then I got sick. And then I was already starting to get sick that day. I thought it was allergies. And then I came and you got down with the sickness.
You had to
as soon as I got home.
You had to drive us home back to Orange County as well. So it was a long day.
It was a long day. But it was an adventure of a lifetime.
It was.
I will say. Memories were made.
And we'll always remember 7 hours in Hong Kong.
We will always remember our 7 hours in Hong Kong. Like, if you have a long layover, just full
do it.
Just do it.
Look up the fanciest cocktail bars and try to go to all of them.
So, Wolf Corner. Got a couple fun updates to share, one of which I just received like half an hour before we started recording. But the first one I got was, actually, let me see if I got a text from her with the screenshots. Oh no, she didn't respond. That's okay. I have it memorized basically. So I got together with my friend Amy last night for a drink, she's my friend of like, gosh, how old am I? 29 now? We probably have known each other since we were like 13. So we've been friends for over like 15 years. I've known her for a long time. We started playing volleyball together. And she was like one of my best friends in high school. And then we kind of lost touch, and I haven't seen her since the Wolf and I broke up the first time after our first engagement. So it had been like 6 years since we saw each other. And when he and I broke up, she was DMing me a lot on Instagram and stuff. And then when we launched this podcast, she was hyping us up a lot and being super sweet. And then just showed up at our launch party with flowers and just was major hype queen. And it was so, so sweet. And like, I totally cried. It was like one of the couple times that I like fully broke down that night. And that was one of them, was her just seeing her in the crowd, like all of a sudden there. Just super, super sweet. And so I said to her at the launch party, I was like, I would love to get together. Can you give me a month? This is like seriously the craziest time of my life. Like I am so overwhelmed. She was like, yep, a month. And sure enough, a month later, we got together for drinks, which was last night, to put it into context. So we're sitting at drinks last night, catching up. And she's like, okay, so in listening to the podcast, I had this recovered memory as you were going through the timeline with the Wolf and everything, because she knows who this person is. She met him when we first started dating. And she opens her phone and she shows me these screenshots that he had been hitting on her on Instagram. So in 2019 and 2020, there's these two full screenshots of him responding all these flirty things to her story and her not responding. And one of the things was, damn, that booty though.
Ew.
Damn girl, that booty. I love it.
Ew.
That was one of them. And then another was, hey, would you ever want to hang out sometime?
Ew.
Yeah.
Especially after the booty. That's a literal booty call.
Yeah. No, and it's like, and it's just
your literal freaking friend.
Yeah. It's my friend. And 2019 was that chaotic limbo year when we weren't together, but we were. Yeah. When he was for sure dating Grace, and I had no idea, but he was telling me he wasn't dating anybody and I was the only one and whatever. And then 2020, it was April 2020, when he was hitting on her, and we were like absolutely very much seeing each other during that time. Yeah. So just another brick in the wall at this point of his grossness and infidelities. And my friends are not off limits. We know this. So that was an interesting thing to learn. And then the one that is just so fun that I received today, 30 minutes before we started recording. I'm literally about to drive over here and I get a text from Amber and she's like, oh my gosh, the Wolf just left this on my car.
Amber, the Wolf's latest girlfriend.
The Wolf's latest girlfriend.
Ex-girlfriend.
In episode 4 we interviewed.
Yes.
Who was in my DMs and was like, he was cheating on me, and his sister referred her to me essentially, and now we're good friends. So he left a note on her car today that reads, Amber, I am so sorry for everything that happened. There are no words or even excuses for any of it. I need you to know that I truly love you and I have been in love with you since the beginning. Our relationship was the real thing and I still want to marry you. Please give us one more chance because I know you won't regret it. You are my best friend and my soulmate. I believe in us and I want only you so badly. I love you, Amber, and I hope to see you soon. Forever and always.
Ew. Why does it feel like a 6th grader wrote it?
It does absolutely look like a 6th grader wrote it as well. And he would always sign his stuff to me forever and always. And Natasha said he would always sign his stuff to her forever and always.
I promise I only want you.
Yeah. And it's like copy and paste the stuff that he sent me in that email a few days before Amber contacted me.
Yeah.
When he literally left her house and 15 minutes later sent me an email. I still think about you all the time. You're my soulmate. Like, I just want to be
one more
with you.
chance.
You're my best friend. Yeah. It's copy and paste and it's gross. But the kicker here, the kicker. So she's freaking out. She sends me a picture of this letter and it's handwritten, by the way. We should post pictures of it, honestly, out of context pics from this episode. The kicker is she goes, he also left this with it and it's a heart-shaped piece of coral. Okay. And some context with that. So for the whole 10 years of our relationship, he and I would go to the beach and we would collect heart rocks. We would scour, we would go, it was like a fun pastime that we would do every once in a while.
Yeah.
Or we would go on trips and we would go to a lake or a river or whatever, Hawaii. And we were always looking for heart rocks. And so that was just like our thing. It was heart-shaped rocks. So I was constantly finding them, especially when I would be on trips away and he wasn't with me and I would bring them back for him and give them to him as gifts.
Cute.
So this heart-shaped piece of coral that he left on this letter for her is one that I gave him.
No!
I went to Hawaii with Alexis and her coworkers and I brought him back this heart-shaped piece of coral and I specifically remember it because it's weird looking.
So fucked.
And it's been in his car. He left it at his grandma's grave for a week and then grabbed it. And it's been in his car this whole time. I know it for a fact. And he just left the heart-shaped piece of coral that I gave him on this note to Amber.
It makes me wonder, like, does he know that you guys are still friends? Like, does he think we're not going to talk about this on the podcast?
I have no idea.
What are you doing, dude?
He absolutely gone off the rails.
Could you imagine a man giving you some memento, something, and you give it to your next boyfriend? Yeah. Being like, oh, babe, this heart-shaped rock made me think of you. That your ex-boyfriend gave you? Like, no.
But it's also like they're not even together anymore. They just broke up for the same reason that he and I broke up.
Yeah.
It's very twisted and weird.
Oh, yeah.
It's very twisted and weird. The fact that he
it's
even
on
still
brand
has it,
for him.
It's extremely on brand. I honestly kind of love that she has that piece of coral now and he doesn't, I guess.
Yeah.
In a weird way. I mean, not that I think she'll keep it, but
right.
It's just, oh my gosh, I laughed so hard and I cringed so hard for her too because he went to her car and did this. And that's obviously like scary. And they've been broken up for over a month now. And so he's clearly spiraling, but it's also like, has he seriously not listened to this? Has the news not gone to him yet? Like, how does he not, or does he know that we are talking? And this is almost like a weird way
message
to give
to
a message to me too somehow.
No,
I have literally
he's
no
not
idea.
Smart enough for that.
He's not, I don't think.
I
don't think maybe he doesn't realize that I would remember it. I have a photographic memory. Like I as soon as I saw that, I was like, that's mine.
That's my coral.
That's mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty unhinged.
He also, speaking of unhinged, because he also reached out to one of your best friends on Hinge.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's a good update too. Yeah. There's been a couple Hinge encounters with him as well. One of them is Emma. Shout out. So Emma and I met through my friend Nate back in It was literally, actually, I met Emma days after I broke up with the wolf.
Oh, nice.
Nate reached out to me and was like, let's get together. Like, you're going through some stuff. Come meet me at the beach. And so I went up and met with him at the beach with his girlfriend and her friends. And one of them is Emma.
Oh, okay.
And so I met Emma. Literally, I think he and I had been broken up for like 3 days. And so Emma and I became really fast friends. And she was actually at the axe throwing night. And so she's never met the wolf, but she knows everything about him. Like, she's known about it since the beginning of our breakup, essentially. Yeah. She's very well versed. And so Megan and I get this group chat message from her, like, 4 days ago? And she's like, you'll never guess who I matched with, or who popped up on my Hinge. And I posted a couple of screenshots. Because didn't he like one of her photos? Yeah, he liked one of her photos, and she was like, I'm really surprised that his opening line wasn't I love you and I miss you, since that seems to be his shtick or whatever. And so I was like, you should match with him and like say something about like the wolf, or that you listen to the podcast that he sings on or whatever. And so she matched with him just to send him a few wolf emojis, and he blocked her immediately. But I just know he was like, how does she know? Like, how does this random chick on Hinge know who I am?
We need to unite the forces.
Yes. Well, and it's so funny too, because her contact photo in my phone is literally her like flipping off. Like, she had just like hacked his face with the axe at axe throwing, and it's like his face in the background, and that's her in my phone. It's so good.
I love it. So she sent the few wolf emojis, and then he promptly unmatched her. Yeah. He was like, oh shit,
blocked her.
I've been found.
Yeah. Yeah. And then our friend Nicole also came across him on Hinge just like 2 nights ago. And she just texted us immediately and then X'd him. Didn't try to reach out. But yeah, so he is actively out there.
He's on the prowl
with his job title of the job he no longer works at. And he's not the height that he has on there either. I will say. And almost every
is the height that they say they are when we're talking about men on dating apps.
Every picture on there is one that I took of him.
Yep, there's also that.
And there's one of him in Peru where we got engaged. Literally right after we got engaged. There's a photo of him on his Hinge profile.
Literally, he'd be nothing without you. He wouldn't even have photos for his dating profiles.
No. Every single photo on there I took, except I think one. Yeah.
So be on the lookout.
Yep. So that's Wolf Corner updates. It truly is the gift that keeps on giving. It really is. Pretty much every episode we've honestly had some sort of update, because it just keeps going, and I have spies everywhere at this point.
You have a lot of spies.
You said that the other day because Connor and Courtney reached out, and they're like, dude, he just called Connor and he said he's coming to town and he wants to get lunch, and I'm like, no way. And they're like, yeah, we're not gonna be doing that. And it was when we were getting our nails done, and you're just like, you have spies everywhere. And I'm like, I really do, Thelonious.
You have an army of spies.
I just have people reach out to me and they're like, he did this today.
Yeah.
Like, wow, cool. Another fun update for my podcast.
It's all content at this point.
It's all content at this point.
Okay, so another thing we want to introduce.
Yeah, was pivoting to another segment.
Okay. So now that we have kind of gone through a lot of our stories and we're going to start getting in a little bit more of a regular cadence with guests and whatnot.
There's still more stories though, don't worry.
Oh, there's still plenty. But we do want to start introducing certain segments.
Yes.
That we've had in mind for a while. Seggies. Little seggies.
I hated it.
I hate that.
Nope, canceled.
Nope, canceled.
Jared, cut that out.
Segments. So the first one being, sometimes we will talk about trickle down therapy of really insightful things our therapists have said. Another one, Wolf Corner, of course. Another one is trauma bonding. Trauma bonding.
Aptly named.
And this is really for our guests to write in. So we've gotten a lot of, not guests, our listeners.
Yeah.
Sorry. This is for our listeners to write in, to share your stories, to ask us questions as well. We've had a lot of people, especially on our most recent viral reel, talk about really similar experiences or something different. And I've had a lot of people reach out to me personally and share their own stories. And I feel like this would be a good chance to every now and then for you and I to pick some of these entries, to read them, and to give you a platform to share your voice. I feel like in all of this, it's just all making, especially women, but women and men alike feeling more connected and united.
Yeah.
And also we love juicy stories.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's also, I think too, in a lot of ways, like it's such a symbiotic thing that's happened where like by us sharing our stories, these people that are hearing them are not feeling so alone. And then by them reaching out to us and being like, we had a really similar situation like happen to yours, it also helps us not feel so alone too and feel validated. Because it's also kind of scary for us to be doing this too. So yeah, like let's bond a little bit. And
let's bond over our trauma.
Yeah. If you are willing to have us like read your story on here and like it can be anonymous, or if you want us to share your first name or something, we're totally open to like whatever makes you feel most comfortable, but just send us a message and be like, this is for the trauma bonding segment if you're interested and this is my story and you have permission to read it. We'd love to.
Or if you want to like ask us for advice, we're completely unqualified at this point, but we're happy to give unqualified advice.
Unqualified advice segment.
Yes. So we have an email address. It's Rachel, what is it?
Should we put the email out or should we just have them DM us?
I feel like we should probably have them email it.
Okay. Yeah. Do either.
That's how podcasts usually have it.
Okay.
I feel like it'd be easier because we have so many DMs.
Sure. The email is the Traumedy Show.pod@gmail.com. I should probably put it in our little link tree thing too.
Oh, is it not?
Maybe. I don't think so. I'll figure out a way to like have it in our link tree on Instagram.
There's a way to do that.
Yeah. We'll add our little contact info for you guys, but it's the Traumedy Show.pod@gmail.com. And if all else fails, you can DM us on Instagram.
You could also DM
too.
Yeah, share stories.
Yeah, we're excited to hear them and hopefully read them. Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
And then another segment we would also like to introduce at this point is the tiny trauma and the tiny triumph of the week.
Yes.
Yes.
Should we each do our tiny
trauma
first?
Yeah, and then let's end on the triumph.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, well, no, because mine starts as a I want you to do your tiny trauma and your tiny triumph, and then I need to do mine. But you'll see why.
Okay.
So
my tiny trauma and my tiny triumph of the week. The first one being my cat threw up all over my couch.
Relatable.
Honestly, like my cat Zelda just has so many bodily functions. You've heard the whole barbed penis story and
yes,
his whole UTI situation.
How could they forget?
His urinary tract obstruction, peeing all over my apartment. Sometimes cats puke sometimes. And the other day he just decided to like puke, vomit, bright green all over my light pink couch.
Yes.
This was last Saturday. I had nothing really to clean it up with. I had like some basic ass spray. So you had to rush over to my house. You had to bring baking soda.
And then we boss bitched and got a bunch of stuff done while I was here.
We did.
I will say.
But it was just, this is like a light blush pink couch.
And it's like velvet.
So unfortunately, the stains are still staining and I'm going to have to seriously like get in an industrial cleaner to try to get any of these out.
We're kind of pouring one out for our fallen couch homies.
Yeah. So if you've also had a pet who's completely ruined your couch, I feel for you. So that is my tiny trauma of the week. My tiny triumph of the week. This week I got lip filler.
The debut of the lips.
So a couple episodes ago, or last week, whenever this comes out, there is an episode where I recorded the day after I got lip filler. With Natasha. They were looking a little swollen. So now they're a little more normal. But I'm very happy and excited about it. And it's a subtle difference, but it just like enough to make you feel that much more confident. And I had a great time with Tammy, my esthetician at Gravity Medical Spa. And I'm feeling very pumped about it.
Yeah, they look really good.
Thank you.
At first it was very like Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
It was a lot. And now they've settled and it looks really good.
Yay!
Like it's subtle, which is what you want.
Yes.
But it's still like a small lift, which is nice. Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Which is the desired outcome. So,
absolutely.
Yes, they look great.
Thank you.
You're
Those
welcome.
are mine.
Okay, mine. I have a tiny trauma that then turns into a tiny triumph that happened today.
Ooh.
But I have another tiny triumph. It's a tiny triumph, but I do want to say it. Which next episode we're going to talk about, I had another boyfriend for a couple months in the winter that like actually really, really wrecked me. To the point where I was like very emotionally unavailable for months, and I kind of swore off men for the last like 4 months. And I also was trying hard to, because my pattern in the past has been to like get over somebody by kind of jumping into something else or like having another distraction. So I've tried to be, I tried to change that pattern and go about it in a healthy way and just be really fully alone. And I've obviously been like throwing myself into this podcast too. So I've been super busy and occupied and just kind of working on my own stuff. But I finally felt okay to get back on Hinge this last weekend.
Yeah.
And that was kind of a tiny triumph for me.
Yeah.
Even though I'm like kind of, I don't know, I'm also like kind of nervous, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I'm scared to get hurt again, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was a tiny triumph for me. And I feel like I did that out of a place that was healthy and not just like,
I need a distraction. I need something to fill the void. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's been enough time. It's been over 4 months since he and I broke up. So
I'd say like 4 months of active healing as well.
Yeah.
Of therapy, doing the work, focusing on so many other things and not feeling those voids or that feeling of, oh, I need to talk to somebody else right now or I feel empty without it. Like you really have been completely independent.
Yeah. And doing work. It really, which we'll obviously go into, but it really highlighted for me that I am typically drawn to a certain kind of man and it's not good for me and it's very patterned. And so taking a step back for the last 4 months and just fully being alone, I feel like I've been able to kind of elevate myself and like, I feel like I've grown in a way that I'm not attracted to that kind of person anymore. And I don't think I would have gotten there if I hadn't just taken a beat.
Yeah.
So
Kate Hudson literally just said the same thing on her interview with Call Her Daddy.
Oh, really?
Except she took a year off.
Damn.
But I feel like it's different. There's no hard fast rule on how long do you need to take off to feel like you can make healthier decisions. We don't subscribe to everybody needs a year off. Like I think that really just depends on so many other things. But on Kate Hudson was just saying she took a whole year off, no men, nothing. And then she was able to take a step back and realize what she was normally attracted to. Was that actually healthy? What is she actually looking for? And like addressing those red flags. You sounded just like her.
Shit. I didn't know Kate Hudson and I had so much in common.
Yeah.
She figured out how to lose a guy in 10 days and I figured out how to keep a toxic one for 10 years. So
but she's in a really happy relationship right now.
That's good.
Yeah. No, she said she's like, I am with someone who I would normally I never would have gone for this person, but I'm so happy and fulfilled in this relationship.
That's cool.
I wouldn't have been there if I hadn't taken that year off.
That's cool. Yeah. No, I fully relate to that. Yeah, so that's my tiny triumph. I'm taking it slow. We'll see how it goes. But like I wasn't nervous to date after the wolf, but I'm like nervous now. And I was like, I kind of, when I got out of that relationship, I was like, it can't get any worse. Like what's there to lose? And then I was like, oh, it actually can.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So yeah, I'm very cautious, but
this is so much like advertisement for next week's episode.
Yeah, just tons of teasers for sure. It's gonna be that episode I'm going to cry.
Yeah.
The wolf episodes I didn't really cry all that much, but this episode I will, because this person really did a number on me and kind of piled trauma on top of trauma.
Yeah.
And I loved him in a way I never loved the wolf.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And we'll go into it next time. But my tiny trauma of the week was I mean, gosh, the whole week has been kind of gnarly for different reasons. But today I just kind of, I woke up from a gnarly dream that at like 7 a.m. and I couldn't go back to sleep. And it kind of just set my whole day off wrong. And I was very grumpy. I was having like a corporate annoying day and I was just super grumpy, super stressed, whatever. And then I was thinking about ClassPass and how I keep paying every month for ClassPass.
Oh shit.
And I keep not going because I don't have time. I literally don't have time. And so I went in to cancel my subscription. And then it was like, oh, well, for the next 6 months, like we'll give you $10 less if you just stay. Like, don't go. And so I was like, okay, fine. So I stayed. And then it was weird because Nicole texted me a couple hours later and was like, I'm going to this class. Do you want to go?
Yeah.
And like, we haven't done a class in a really long time.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, that's really weird. The day I was about to cancel my subscription. So I was like, I'm going to take this as a sign and I'm going to go. So I'm trying to get to this class on time. I forgot my watch. I forgot my water bottle. Like I kept running back and forth to my house because I kept realizing I forgot things. So then I was like running late to this class. I'm kind of having road rage. I've been like in a rage all day, just stressed out and grumpy. And I get to this class and I walk in and it's Nicole in there and 2 women.
Yeah.
And Megan hasn't heard the story, by the way. I kind of briefed her that the yoga class didn't happen. Spoiler alert. But I feel like I was there for other reasons. And so I walk in, Nicole's in there and she's like, hey, so happy to see you. I missed you. This is Teresa and Alicia, by the way. Gosh, I hope I'm getting their names right. And I was like, hey, nice to meet you, whatever. And we sit down and we kind of just start talking and the instructor's like nowhere to be found in this class. So we all just kind of start talking and Nicole's like, have you guys recorded yet? And I said, no, we're recording after this. I got to go home and like wash my hair. I'm going to get all sweaty. Got to get ready. Like I was just kind of stressed out and on edge. And then Nicole was like, she has a really good podcast, by the way. And she kind of started pitching me.
Yeah.
And she was like, she and her cousin both have been through some traumas and they like talk about it on their podcast, but in like a funny way and whatever. And, Teresa goes, oh, what's your trauma if you don't mind me asking? And so I give her my elevator pitch of my whole story with the wolf. And then and she's like, oh, that sounds a lot like what Alicia has been through actually.
Interesting.
And I was like, really? And she's like, yeah, I was with, I think she said it was her ex-husband for either 15 or 20 years. And it was physically abusive as well. And a lot of other things too. And she was like, she's like, yeah, we had a house together. And I was like, me too. He took half the profit and only paid for 20% of the down payment. And she's like, yeah, he took everything. He like stole my furniture. He stole everything from me.
Wow.
And I was like, no way. And so we were kind of like vibing on that. And then the other woman, Teresa, she opened up that she had cancer currently. And she was going through chemo and she had a headscarf on. And I was like, how are you doing, by the way, with your diagnosis? And she was like, it sucks. It sucks ass. It's really shitty. And I was like, I totally, I empathize. Like my mom had breast cancer. She was stage 3 and she's like, that's what I am right now. And I was like, really? Wow. And she's like, how's your mom doing? And I was like, she's doing super well. Like she kicked cancer's ass. And I told her the whole story. And she was like, that's just so encouraging to hear. Cause like, this is my second time it's come back. And like, I have 2 boys and my family was going to move and we decided not to move. We're going to stay here because of my diagnosis. And I'm done with chemo in July. And then I was like, and Nicole's mom has cancer too. And she just beat it. And we thought, things weren't looking good a few months ago and her mom's like a walking miracle right now. Yeah. And Nicole was like able to tell her story too. And so they were bonding over all these things.
Oh my gosh.
And so we literally were just sitting there and like 20 minutes has gone by and the instructor hasn't come.
Wow. What the heck?
And we're like, I don't think this class is happening. But we just sat there for like 30 minutes and just talked about all this really deep stuff with these 2 women that we don't know. And then I had the stickers from our launch party. And I was like, would you like a sticker? And she's like, I would love one. Like, we're going to listen to your podcast. Like, I'm really excited to listen to it. And I was like, yeah, like that would be so cool. Sometimes it's nice to kind of hear about what other people go through sometimes. Like if that helps you, it's kind of group processing. And she's like, yeah, I love that. And like Traumedy, like that's my whole life. Like we're a very dark humor kind of family like that. Like you could tell they had kind of been through stuff too. Right. And so, it just felt very like, okay, this class didn't pan out in any sort of way. The instructor literally never showed up, but like we were supposed to be here for some, like Nicole gave her mom's like resources, for her life coach and like cancer and stuff. And like, I feel like we just were able to offer them, you know, some kind of like hope a little bit. And just
both of your moms had survived cancer. Like what a hopeful.
And then like, I hope they listen to our podcast and it helps, you know, Alicia who has exited a shitty relationship and, you know, was very much still dealing with it, but she's in a healthy relationship now and engaged to somebody else. And I was so happy for her. And then we just kind of parted ways. And then I got in the car and Nicole and I hadn't gotten to catch up in a while. And she broke down about, you know, stuff that's been hard for her. And I was like, I'm glad that I have this like little bit of time with you because I'm so busy and I feel bad. Like I haven't even been able to like catch up with you and what's going on. And so we were able to have a little like, because I drove her home because her mom had dropped her off. So I just ended up driving her home. Yeah. So we had our moment in the car to catch up. And as we're driving down Del Mar and she's crying and she's like, I feel like I just need to trust that everything's going to work out. I'm stopped at this crosswalk and this giant butterfly is just literally like circling back and forth across the crosswalk in front of the car.
Oh my gosh.
And then I dropped her off and I just like cried the whole way home. And I was like, that it just really put it into perspective for me of like, sometimes I just am so over my job or like whatever. I'm so stressed out or whatever's going on with my friendships or my life, or I have so much going on. I'm so tired, whatever it is. Like it just put it into perspective. Like it could be worse. It has been worse. And there is so much to be grateful for. And there are so many of these like small moments that even if they seem like, wow, I just drove all the way out here for nothing for this class. It's like, nope, wasn't for nothing. I think I was supposed to be there and talk to those people for some reason and meet them. So shout out Alicia and Teresa if you're listening to this episode. I hope you are. Yeah, that was my tiny trauma turned triumph today.
Yeah, seriously, what a trauma to be like, oh, I can't wait for yoga. I really need this.
I was really excited to go to yoga. I was
okay.
Like,
you can do yoga tomorrow.
It's interesting because every time we do yoga, we have this emotional release at the end. Like Megan and I just end up laying there in the dark during
crying every time.
And we just cry.
Yeah.
Like and I started doing this after my last breakup. I started going to yoga with you. And that was a lot of the times that I would actually cry and have emotional release about this relationship and really break down was in the dark with a group of strangers at the end of yoga. And I haven't been able to do yoga in a couple months, honestly. And so today I was like, I have all this pent up like shit. I feel like it would be good to go do yoga. So I took it as a sign that I needed to go and I was looking forward to it. And then
you needed to go. You needed to go meet these women.
I didn't need to go for a different reason than I thought.
Oh, and what a, like, I don't know, kind of beautiful reminder of it could be worse.
Yeah.
Too. And not that it's a competition at all, but it is like a check yourself. And like, we have a lot going on right now and it's really overwhelming, but there's still so much to be
there is
grateful for. And I'm excited to have new listeners.
Yeah.
And that's like what the podcast is about too.
Yeah, it is. And it reminded me of like, when my mom did have cancer and like that horrible time and what, I don't know, it just, it put a lot of things into perspective and like I am healthy and my family's healthy and my friends are healthy and I'm very grateful for that. And like, sometimes it's easy to get lost in that when you're stressed or you're overwhelmed or whatever, like you're you have responsibilities you just don't want to deal with or whatever it is. But I think I needed to be checked a little bit and also to just kind of, I don't know, it felt good to somehow feel like I was of use to somebody in some way that was like meaningful.
Yeah.
And, you know, vice versa. Like
totally.
I got nuggets from them too. So,
you can do yoga any day. You don't always have moments like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, it was so fine that yoga didn't happen because other things did. It's fine.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love learning something new for the first time on the podcast.
I know. Yeah, I showed up here and she's like, Lisa, what happened with yoga? And I was like, I'm going to tell you on the podcast because it's going to be my tiny trauma to tiny triumph pipeline.
I love the pipeline. We might not do this segment every week, but it is a fun way to kind of recap maybe some recent events. And we have, trauma comes in all shapes. Well, there's probably a clinical definition of trauma. So when we say
we're not experts, we don't claim to be.
No. And when we say tiny trauma, it's kind of a joke, like tongue in cheek or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I was not traumatized by Zelda's vomit, but it will be a fun way to kind of
the theme of our podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just a fun little check-in on sometimes you have shit that happens during the week, but you also have
some tiny wins.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, me too. Yay. Oh, yay. I loved a little introduction of our segments today. That was good.
Got some segments going.
I know. We have a lot of clever ideas for our segments. We just haven't been able to intro
We just haven't had time.
No.
We've had too much juicy stuff to go over.
Bro, I think we always will. So the segment stuff might be few and far between, honestly, with the trajectory of how this has been going.
And next week we're going to the Catalina wine mixer.
Bro, by the time this episode airs, we'll have already been at the Catalina wine mixer.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh, so we'll have a whole episode probably to recap that.
Future at least us a section. Listening to this episode, we had so much fun.
Catalina wine mixer.
The fucking Catalina wine. Okay, I also would like to say Megan has now watched Step Brothers. We watched that on my birthday.
We have, yeah.
So she's very familiar
and well versed.
She's well versed in the lore now, as she claimed to be in episode 1.
Yes.
Now she is actually well versed in the lore,
and we're ready to go.
We are so ready to go. We have dresses.
Yay!
We have our hotel that we got last minute. Thank God. Nicole and Lauren are going with us.
Y'all are going to meet some trust fund Richmond 6'5" finance guys.
Song of the summer, baby.
Yep.
We hope.
We can only hope.
Well, I think that's it for this episode. That was a good one.
Yeah.
I'm happy with it.
Me too. It was fun to talk about Hong Kong.
10 out of 10. Oh, it was so fun to talk about our 7 hours in Hong Kong.
7 hours in Hong Kong.
Got held hostage for
very long. I don't remember all the words.
Oh, I do.
Okay. Take it away, Thelonious.
Oh, I will.
Take it away.
Wait, what's the next line? Oh, because our Hong Kong payment was wrong. And we're a couple of ding-dongs. Are we just going to end every episode with a serenade now?
I think we should.
It's kind of the pattern now.
Yes.
And you know how we love to beat a good bit to death.
Let's sing it again, but get the words right.
Okay.
And end with that.
Okay.
It's 7 hours in Hong Kong.
The reprise.
Cut this part out, Jared.
Theme song. Okay.
7 hours in Hong Kong.
Got held hostage for very long. Megan, because our Hong Kong.
I don't know the words.
I think we just need to cut it.
Because the payment was wrong.
This is bad.
Cut it out. All right, bye.
Okay, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to us wherever you listen to podcasts. It really does help. If you're listening to this podcast and you haven't just clicked the little star button yet, please do so and click the one on the very far right that gives us
otherwise known as 5 stars.
Yeah, the wolf gives us ones.
Yes.
And we're pretty confident he's the only one that has this far. We hope. But anyway, please, the 5.
Please 5.
Please 5. It helps us. And also follow us on TikTok and Instagram because we post random stupid shit. That'll just make you laugh most of the time. At the.traumedy.show.
Bye.
Bye. Peace out. Home skillet biscuits. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to us wherever you listen to podcasts. It really does help. If you're listening to this podcast and you haven't just clicked the little star button yet, please do so and click the one on the very far right that gives us
otherwise known as 5 stars.
Yeah, the wolf gives us ones.
Yes.
And we're pretty confident he's the only one that has this far. We hope. But anyway, please, the 5.
Please 5.
Please 5. It helps us. And also follow us on TikTok and Instagram because we post random stupid shit. That'll just make you laugh most of the time. At the.traumedy.show.
Bye.
Bye. Peace out. Home skillet biscuits.